All right, boys, so Season of Arrivals is officially here. We just got done watching the reveal for it, and now we can play it. We also saw the reveal for things like the fall expansion, year 5 and year 6, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna hop into the seasonal artifact. I'm gonna be showing you all everything within the seasonal artifact and then giving you my recommendations on what y'all should use, because we have some amazing mods returning that I'm extremely excited about. This might just be the best seasonal artifact we have ever gotten. So let's go ahead and let's hop on in. It is going to be called the Seed of Silver Wings. In order to acquire it, you must do the first story mission of Season of Arrivals. No spoilers there. Just go out and do it and you'll get it. You get it pretty quick. So in column 1, we're going to have our barrier, our overload, our unstoppable mod. So anti-barrier for your auto rifles, and this is going to read shield piercing rounds designed to bypass combatant defenses strong against barrier champions. Next up, we're going to have overload rounds for sidearms and hand cannons. Landing consecutive hits on enemy targets causes disruption, delaying ability energy regeneration and lowering combatant output strong against overload champions. Next up, we're going to have unstoppable hand cannon. Aiming down sights loads a powerful explosive payload that staggers unshielded combatants strong against unstoppable champions. And then we're going to have overload arrowheads, which is going to give your bows the ability to disrupt overload champions. Damage by fully drawn arrows cause disruption, delaying ability energy regeneration and lowering combatant damage output strong against overload champions. And then finally, for column 1, we're going to have unstoppable burst. Aiming down sights loads a high impact burst that staggers unshielded combatants strong against unstoppable champions. So looks like we're going to have anti-barrier for our autos. I'm not seeing any other anti-barrier at all on here. Yeah, no, I'm not seeing any other anti-barrier. So it looks like anti-barrier is strictly gonna be for autos, which I mean is fine with me. Then for our overload, the 2 things or the 3 weapons that can overload or disrupt overload champions is gonna be your sidearms, your hand cannons, and your bows. And then finally, the unstoppable, or in order to stagger unstoppable champions, you can do that with hand cannons or pulse rifles. Pretty cool stuff, pretty cool stuff. Next up, we're gonna have our column 2, which is going to be enhanced pulse rifle loader, and that's pretty self-explanatory. It just allows you to reload your pulse rifle extremely fast. Next up, we have enhanced unflinching rifle aim. So any rifle that you are currently using, if you ADS, you will not flinch as much when being shot at. Then we have enhanced scatter projectile targeting. So this mod is going to cover a wide variety of different weaponry, and this is just going to greatly improve target acquisition accuracy and aim down sight speed for auto rifles, machine guns, submachine guns, pulse rifles, sidearms, and fusion. Next up, we're going to have enhanced sword scavenger. So this is going to be returning from last season, but this is an amazing mod, so I'm not complaining. Swords get larger bonus reserves when you pick up ammo. And then finally, for column 2, we're going to have enhanced bow loader. Greatly increases the knocking speed of arrows. So that's pretty much the speed at which you put an arrow back into your bow and you can fire it again. Yeah, column 1, column 2, very, very useful. Those are the ones I actually spend the most time like, which one do I get? Because I just want them all, but of course you can't really have all of them because you only have a limited amount of unlocks. Then column 3, which is normally our boring column. I normally never get anything from this column. I never actually get anything from this column, but you all like when I read it, so I'm just going to quickly go over it. First up, we're going to have Flourishing Blade. Defeating combatants or opponents with swords has a chance to grant a large amount of glimmer. Mods do not stack. By the way, I'm pretty sure none of the mods in column... So the first 3 mods do not stack in column 3. Next up, we're going to have Prize Shooting. Defeating combatants or opponents with hand cannons or sidearms grants a small amount of glimmer. Then we have Automatic Prize. Defeating combatants or opponents with auto rifles or submachine guns grants small amounts of glimmer. Next up, we're going to have, and I don't even know how to say this, Dimensional Tis? I have no idea. Defeating taken combatants has a chance to grant a small amount of glimmer. And then finally, for column 3, we have Ascendant Bounty. Defeating taken combatants with your finisher grants a large amount of glimmer. And then we're going to be getting on to column 4. Now, this is where things start to heat up. Column 4 and 5 are really our, juicy ones, the one that we actually want to know about. First up, we're going to have Counter Charge. Become charged with light whenever you or a member of your fire team staggers, disrupts, or pierces champion's barrier. So that's probably going to be a really, really good one, especially for all you guys out there that love your charged with light builds and you're doing in-game content that is going to require you to be dealing with these champions. Next up, we're going to have Unstoppable Pulse Rifle Burst, or just Unstoppable Pulse Rifle. And this one's weird because this is the first time we've seen the ability to unstop via a weapon or do anything to a champion via a weapon, but it's an armor mod. We've had things in the past where, like, meleeing and stuff like that will affect champions, but I don't think we've ever had one that actually physically affects your gun, but it's an armor mod. Normally, those mods go on the weapon itself. So it reads, aiming down pulse rifle sights loads a high impact burst that staggers unshielded combatants strong against unstoppable champions. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that is the first time we've had one that physically affects the weapon and not like a melee or a grenade. But, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Next up is going to be overload grenades. Void grenades cause disruption, delaying ability, energy generation or regeneration, and lowering combatant damage output, strong against overload champions. I loved overload grenades, and you are about to see overload grenades are going to get even better, or void grenades are about to get even better, because something, you know what, I'm not going to spoil it. We'll get into it in just a second. Then we're going to have breach resonator, grants melee and energy, or grants melee and grenade energy on final blows with shield piercing weapons, or when a member of your fire team shuts down a barrier ability. So grenade melee, or grants melee and grenade energy on final blows with a shield piercing weapon, or when a member actually shuts down a barrier champion. So that one's pretty cool. Then we have Inferno Whip. This is also a returning mod. Solar melee ability, stagger unshielded combatants. Pretty self-explanatory. Your solar melee ability is going to stagger unshielded combatants. Now, I wonder if they fixed it to where it's going to work with the Warlock top tree with Celestial Fire. I'm curious, because if that's the case, then you can stagger enemies with your melee from a range. We'll just have to wait and see how that works. Next up, we have returning... I've missed this perk. Oppressive Darkness. Causing damage with a void grenade adds a weaken effect to combatants. If y'all were not playing back whenever Shadowkeep first came out and Season of Undying launched, this mod was busted. You pair this with this overload grenades, you have both these mods on, and your grenade is causing disruption, and it's also weakening them. I believe the debuff that you would put on an enemy, or the debuff you would have, or the buff would be like a 30% damage increase. I wonder if they nerfed it or anything like that. I'm assuming they touched it, because I know when Thundercoil came back out, it wasn't as strong as it originally was. So I can only assume it's a little bit weaker, because Oppressive Darkness literally just gave you no reason to run Divinity, because they were both 30%. So we'll just have to see how Oppressive Darkness is actually going to work this time around. But if it works like last time, this is an overpowered mod that you all have to have. Next up, we're going to have Solar Plexus. Increases damage of all solar melee abilities. Gains super energy from performing finishers with a solar subclass equipped. We've seen this before. This is a very good mod. Then we have another great mod returning, one that I get asked about all the time. Hey, why don't you just use Heavy Finisher? Heavy Finisher is a seasonal artifact mod that has not been in the game for a few seasons now, and now it's back. So finishers generate heavy ammo, requires 1/2 of your super energy. Really happy to have this back. This is really good for things whenever you're trying to like grind out kills that require you to get those kills with heavy weapons. So you're always gonna have heavy ammo with a Heavy Finisher mod. This one is actually the one that costs the most energy out of anything in this entire artifact. It's gonna cost you 7 energy. Next up, we're going to have Volatile Conduction, which grants bonus arc super damage if cast while critically wounded, lasts until the end of the super activation. And then finally, for column 5, we're going to have Guardian Angel. Grants a chance to generate healing orbs for you on scout rifles, sniper rifles, bows, or linear fusion rifle precision final blows. So now, real quick, minute, 2 minutes. What are the best ones to use? Actually, it's not going to be like a minute. It's probably going to be like 30 seconds. The best ones to use is, of course, you need one for everything. So anti-barrier rounds, of course, get that. If you are going to be running void grenades, then you could probably skip disruption. So you could probably skip overload rounds for there, and bow overload rounds as well. But I would definitely recommend getting anti-barrier for your autos, and then getting unstoppable for your hand cannons. Or if you want to get unstoppable burst, that is fine as well. Getting on to the next one, of course, if you are using the pulse, then of course, enhanced pulse rifle loader is always nice. Honestly, any of the enhanced loader mods are always nice, because they only take 1 energy, and well, pretty much everyone uses them. Then we have the unflinching. Unflinching is mainly only for people that play PvP, so I probably won't be taking it unless I'm playing PvP. Same thing with enhanced projectile targeting, is that this is only for improved target acquisition, really people that play PvP. And then we have Sword Scavenger. That is going to be for us PvE folk that just love slashing away at Riven with our swords. We're always going to have ammo. And then enhanced bow loader, that's only really if you're using bows. And I actually have recently started using bows because if y'all don't know, bows did get a PvE buff. So this one could be one to be on the lookout for. And then we can completely skip column 3 because I never talk about that one. Next up, counter charge. If you are using a charge with light build, this is probably going to be one of your best ones. And then from there, you can kind of just pick and choose with whatever resonates with your build, or whatever synergizes with your build. But I would highly recommend using overload grenades and oppressive darkness. Both those are extremely good. Also, make sure you're unlocking heavy finisher in case you do need to have consistent heavy ammo. And then from there, you all can kind of just look around, see what might work with your build. But definitely oppressive darkness, overload grenades, heavy finisher, all your essential barrier champion mods or unstoppable champions, or all that good stuff for your mods for your champions. Make sure you do have those. And yeah, those are my recommendations. Thank God I'm so happy that Oppressive Darkness is back. I love this mod. I know it broke the game, but honestly, something overpowered can sometimes be a little fun. So yeah, that's gonna do it for me, guys. Let me know in the comment section which mod you all are gonna be unlocking right away. Like, which one do you all have your eyes on? For me, of course, it's that Oppressive Darkness. I probably said it about 1,000 times, but let me know in the comment section which mod you're gonna pick up as soon as you can. With all that being said, hopefully you did enjoy the video. If you did, then be sure to drop a like, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.